This video is over Lesson 3, Objective 6.3. To start this off, we're going to need the slope formula, which you should recall from a previous unit, but just in case, let's put it down again here. So we start with our m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's from Lesson 1. All right. So if you recall from Lesson 2, we need two things in order to write an equation of a line. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. Well, these particular examples in this section don't have either. So we're given 2 points. Well, from 2 points, we can find the slope. So that's where we're going to start. So let's start with example A. So we're going to start with finding the slope between these 2 points. So the first thing that I like to do when I'm finding my slope is label my x1, y1, and my x2, y2. And then we're going to use that formula that we wrote down in our vocab. And we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And remember, when we subtract a negative, that becomes like a big plus sign. So we have negative 3 over 3. Which is negative 1. So there's our slope. And now we have to find our b. So just like we did in the previous lesson, we have our slope, we have some points. We're going to choose one of those points, and we're going to use our slope and our point to find our y-intercept, sorry. So we have y equals mx plus b. And so I'm just going to choose this point right here, and we could use either one of them. It doesn't matter. I'm going to replace the y with 5. My m is negative 1. My x is negative 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. And then I would subtract 2 from both sides. So our b is 3. So I have my b, I have my m, and so I'm going to plug that in. Y equals mx plus b. Since that's a negative 1x, we could just write it as negative x plus 3, and that would be our answer there. Okay, so example 1b, same thing. So I'm going to start by labeling my x1, y1, because I know that I'm going to have to find my slope. So our slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So then these both become like big plus signs. We have 10 over 5. So our slope is 2. All right, so then we're going to choose one of those points. And so I'm going to use that first one again. Like I said before, it does not matter. And I'm going to plug everything into y equals mx plus b. So we have our negative 5 equals 2 times x plus b. So negative 5 equals negative 2 plus b. And then to get b by itself, I'm going to add 2. And so negative 3 will be our b value. So our b is negative 3. Our m is 2. Y equals mx plus b. And so since it's negative 3, I'm just going to do minus 3. So there's our equation. So finding our slope and then using one of our points to find our y-intercept. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to label my x1, y1, x2, y2. Find my slope. M equals y2. Oh, I mixed that up. It doesn't matter really, but since just to be consistent, I'm going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So negative 9 over 3 gives us a slope of negative 3. Okay, so then I'm going to choose one of those points. I'm going to use this one, but I want you to notice something about this point right here. Notice that 0 in the x spot. Remember, y-intercepts always have a 0 in the x spot, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to plug everything into our y equals mx plus b. Okay, so our y is negative 5, so y equals m times x plus b. So negative 5 equals negative 9 plus b. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So 4 is b. And we have our m of negative 3. And then I'm going to write my equation. But before I do that, notice, remember how I said that the x-intercept has a 0, or I'm sorry, the y-intercept has a 0 in the x-spot? Notice our y-intercept is 4. So this point is actually our y-intercept. So if you have a point where x is 0, you don't have to do any work. That's just going to be your y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b, and that's our equation. And that's it, guys. So in math, you're always trying to make it look like something you already know how to do. Well, in lesson 2, we learned how to write an equation of a line when we know the point and the slope, and now we don't know the point, or I'm sorry, we don't know the slope, so we used our 2 points to find it. So that is it. Thank you.